Someone can start.
A good afternoon to you, sir. I'm Zarango Gloria Maria.
Go ahead.
Do we go ahead?
Yeah.
Okay. A good afternoon to you, sir. I'm speaking on behalf of Group 4. My name is Zarango Gloria Maria, and my group members are Birunji Shamim, Nalugo Lilian Margaret, Nambuya Sheila, and Musovia Hassan. We are going to make a presentation in regards to that task that was given to us, reading, using examples, justify and recommend a range of strategies that can be adopted by the procurement and supply chain to support business continuity during the COVID-19 lockdowns and reduce future exposure to shocks and similar nature. Second screen, please. Yeah, we cannot go about talking about that task without explaining or talking about the key aspects, the key subjects, the key issues in the question. So we had to talk about what supply chains are, talk about procurement, and say something small about COVID-19. So supply chains are a set of 3 or more entities directly involved in the upstream and downstream flow of products, services. We look at finances, we look at information from a source to a customer. Yeah. So we look at what procurement is. We all know that procurement is a process of acquiring supplies. There is consultancy, consultancy and non-consultancy services, and work by any means. So the COVID-19 has actually brought in very many challenges in regards to the procurement and supply chain on a global view. Yeah, very many countries the entire world is literally very much affected by the COVID-19. So COVID-19 has actually, the lockdowns, the COVID-19 has actually posed very many threats and brought in very many effects. We look at death of people or participants in the supply chain. We look at supply chain has very many participants, including people. So it has brought challenges in moving. We look at increased demand in certain products that were not forecasted. So we look at medication, the vaccination of COVID-19. People are dying, and the production is supposed to be a little high, but we find out that it is a little low since it wasn't forecasted. It wasn't something that they had actually planned for. So the COVID-19 brought in lockdowns, and the lockdowns have actually affected business continuity. And the procurement and supply chain is not seated. So they decided to come up with strategies. Next slide, please. They decided to come out with strategies that can be adopted by to support business continuity during COVID-19 lockdowns and reduce future exposure to shocks similar nature. So the very first one, the procurement and supply chain unit has decided to reconsider sourcing options. We try to look at that in a way that they have tried to identify. You have to try. They should try to identify alternative suppliers, especially the local suppliers within their country. We look at COVID-19 has actually affected the importing in of very many products. So they should actually decide to maybe look at the local suppliers within the country. We give an example of things like we look at an example of Goodwill, a company that is located downside of Nakaseke district. They have actually started making tiles, and of which tiles were actually imported in from way back. So people have actually resorted to using. The procurement and supply chain should actually resort to using sourcing options within the country, their own country. Just like instead of them going to actually get tiles from up there, which could be a little hard and very much expensive, they could actually look at getting tiles from within. So we look at e-procurement systems. E-procurement systems should be adopted. Yeah, we all know that companies should actually adopt to e-sourcing, e-tendering, to ensure business continuity during the COVID-19 lockdowns. So it involves a lot of things. You can actually track your products. You can track your products, you can track your tenders, you can track your inventory, it can allow your clients actually place orders, different strategies, contract and finances, there is nothing that you cannot do without the net or online. Yeah, so me and my group looked at an example of Starbucks. We looked at another digital platform called Amazon. With Amazon, there is nothing you can actually miss out on getting, because each and everything is displayed, and you can actually look in, type in, and place your order, and all will be delivered. Thank you so much.
I am Naruba Lillian Margaret, and I'm going to continue from where my colleague Gloria stopped. The next point, succession planning. Companies should identify and develop future leaders, not just at the top, but for major roles at all levels. It helps the business prepare for all contingencies by preparing high potential workers for advancement. And also make sure a company always has the right leaders in place in case a change happens so quickly. For example, during these COVID lockdowns, many people that are involved in the supply chain have been infected by this COVID-19. So many of them have maybe passed on, many have lost their lives. And so if the company has the succession plan, it will be easy for them to replace them with someone else, and so that the business continues. The next point is prioritizing key suppliers. Focus on the suppliers that are key to business continuity during lockdown. This can be done by understanding suppliers' business continuity plans, by sending further questionnaires to them to find more about them, the suppliers. And also you can contact suppliers who can deliver during the lockdown and agree on the supply plan and manage performance against that plan. And also you can identify the suppliers to eliminate those that are not able to deliver during the lockdowns. You can eliminate them and replace them with available suppliers. Another point is diversify or expand supply network. There should be diversification of supply network through breaking down of the contracts into smaller parts. These contracts can be awarded to other suppliers so that maybe you do not get disappointed in one supplier. So if you break it down and give the rest some other suppliers, they can fill that gap in case one is not able to deliver. And also these companies should also open up more branches in different areas to enable business continuity. Another point is long-term supply chain and risk mitigation considerations. In a business, if you want to be prepared for the occurrence of a random risk, then you have to make investments and decisions up front before the event happens. So the suppliers should have plans for different time horizons and scenarios. Organizations can even start a plan ahead team working alongside the crisis response team in order to promote the business continuity. I will call upon my colleague Shamim to continue with the rest of the points.
My name is Brunch Shamim. I'm going to start where Lydian stopped. My point is, like our point, strong relationships should be built with suppliers. Here we look at companies should build trust, confidence with the suppliers, which leads to knowledge sharing and identification. which leads, are you hearing me?
Yes.
Which
Yes,
leads to knowledge sharing and identification of improvement opportunities. For example, a company should engage their suppliers so that they create understandings. They can engage in discussions, space discussions, or use Zoom to solve the problems, address challenges, so that I'm sorry, so that to allow business continuity. Another point, holding buffer stock. Here, companies should stock in bulk. During COVID lockdowns, business should ensure they stock in bulk so that they can achieve their customers' targets by delivering products. Business should hold enough stock to be able to meet customers' demand. They should not hold too much stock and they shouldn't hold less stock. So they should minimize, they should maintain their stock so that they can be able, they can allow business continuity. Much stock may lead to excess stock. For example, I can give an example here in buffer stock. For example, a company like Royal Twins, it's a manufacturing company. It deals in mattresses. It adapted a strategy of buffer stock. It stocked in bulk some chemicals which are used to manufacture mattresses. So when lockdown approached, another lockdown when it reached, they had no problem of like no stock out, which led to business continuity. Another point is plan distribution strategy. This can be done through product direct. This can be done through delivering products to the customers directly. It can be done through using phone orders where customers can make their orders and be delivered to them. Customers can make purchases online. For example, a company like Jumia, where someone can order products online, they be delivered to the location they want. Therefore, companies should invest in more vehicles, motorcycles, delivery steps, so that to enable effective distribution of goods. Yeah, that's it. Now my colleague can continue from there.
Okay. Thank you, Shamim. Let me continue from there. Our next point is innovation. Here we say businesses have so many opportunities. Businesses have so many opportunities in such a period to try new strategies that will help them to be more successful in the long run. For example, they can try discovering new markets by training new and previously untouched markets or sub-markets. During this period, new products can be launched to attract more customers. Organizations don't really need to lay off workers despite of a slowdown in business. It should instead utilize the workers who are there on bench and invest in building new solutions, leveraging existing experience around supply chain reporting and planning. Our next point was delivery route optimization during COVID-19 lockdowns. An effective route optimization helps businesses maximize complete orders for deliveries while incorporating many criteria, including drive schedules, available hours, total stops, fulfillment estimates, and legal requirements to improve customer satisfaction. This enables to reduce on time spent during the delivering of products and services to customers. And device on lockdown exit strategy was another strategy we looked at. Here we said as the government is seriously thinking about the lockdown exit strategies that will allow them rebuild economies while minimizing the threat to human lives, similarly, businesses will need to figure out how they start their operations while continuing to prioritize the well-being of their staff and dealing with the aftermath of the lockdown and its immediate implications. For example, organizations may need to introduce greater agility and flexibility into the supply chain so that they can switch new suppliers if necessary due to the lockdown effects. Our next colleague to continue.
Sheila, please introduce yourself.
Sorry?
Please introduce yourself.
I'm Nambia Sheila. Nambia Sheila. Yeah. Our next colleague.
Okay. I'm Musawi Hassan.
Yes.
Let me continue from where my colleague Sheila has stopped. We have keep customers informed. During this epidemic, the disruptions in the supply chain during COVID-19 lockdowns have significant problems and rising operation costs. This makes organizations raise their prices without informing their customers in advance. Customers should know that they should be appreciated and be talking to them and engaging them. Let the customers know about the promotions, referrals, discounts, and other goods to get attention during the COVID-19 lockdowns through advertisement using social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, like the way Jumia and Amazon have done. Another one, to make strategic cuts. During the crisis, it is important for organizations to make strategic cost-cutting decisions based on their customers' changing needs. During the lockdown, it can be tempting for organizations or leaders to take peanuts butter approach to cut the cost of their products. For example, the resources without looking at the consequences. Strategic cuts may include streamlining the supply chain, that's to say improving efficiency in the supply chain. Another one is go social distance. While the delivery processes often requires contact between two more parties, there are several tactics that businesses can apply that are efficient. The effective and minimize the risks of human contacts. For instance, when it comes to check in and arrival processes, electronic notification through through real-time GPS-based track that can allow suppliers and carriers limit the number of times drivers have to enter different facilities. Can you play the slide? Are we concluding?
Yeah, you're concluding this.
Can I go to conclusion?
Yeah.
In conclusions, many organizations, executives were hoping that COVID-19 pandemic is once in a lifetime event. However, as the truth goes, hope is not a strategy. There are ways to stand out and better negative storms for the next inevitable disruptions, which include re-emerging their supply chain strategies for risks, resilience, and sustainability. Therefore, in order to be successful, organizations are required to put in place the above explained strategies so as to ensure business continuity. Thank you, members.
Thank you so much.
Back to the host.
Lydian, you can make our final remarks.
Thank you so much, sir. We still remain as group 4. Thank you so much for the opportunity. This was our presentation. Thank you.